In a secluded part of ancient Greece, there lay a dense and foreboding forest known as the Woods of Lament. The villagers whispered tales of a chilling presence lurking within, an entity who was once a maiden of unparalleled beauty. Her name was Medusa, and her story was one woven with threads of tragedy, betrayal, and transformation. The woods were dark and twisted, filled with gnarled trees that seemed to reach out like skeletal fingers. The air was thick with an unsettling silence, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves or the distant call of a mournful owl. Legend spoke of those who had ventured into these woods never to return. They were said to have encountered Medusa, whose gaze could turn even the bravest warrior into stone. Many had sought glory in confronting Medusa, each returning with tales more terrifying than the last. One such tale was that of a traveler named Lysander. He had heard stories of Medusa's beauty and power and believed he could win her favor. As he entered the woods, he felt an unnatural chill envelop him. Shadows danced just beyond his vision, and he could hear faint, hissing sounds echoing through the trees. Lysander pressed on, driven by ambition. Suddenly, he stumbled upon a clearing where he saw her, a figure draped in darkness, her hair a writhing mass of serpents. He froze in fear, but managed to call out to her. Instead of anger, she looked at him with sorrowful eyes. "Why do you seek me?" she whispered, her voice like a haunting melody. Lysander's bravado faded as he spoke of his desire for glory. But before he could finish his plea, the snakes on her head began to hiss louder, and he felt his heart race. In that moment he turned to flee, but found himself paralyzed, his body slowly turning to stone as Medusa's gaze locked onto him. Another group ventured into the woods, 3 hunters seeking fame and fortune. They laughed and boasted about their prowess, dismissing the warnings from villagers. As they delved deeper into the forest, they became aware of an unsettling presence watching them. One by one, they began to experience strange occurrences. Whispers in the wind that seemed to call their names, shadows that darted just out of sight. The bravado quickly faded as fear took hold. They stumbled upon Medusa's lair, a cavern adorned with remnants of those who had come before them. In a moment of desperation, they tried to attack her with their weapons, but as they approached, they caught her gaze. One by one, they turned to stone, their last expressions frozen in terror. Among those who dared to enter was a young warrior named Perseus, armed with gifts from the gods, a mirrored shield from Athena, winged sandals from Hermes, and a sword. He sought to end Medusa's reign of terror once and for all. As Perseus navigated through the twisted paths of the forest, he felt an overwhelming sense of dread wash over him. The trees seemed to whisper secrets long forgotten. Shadows slithered just beyond his line of sight. Finally, he reached a clearing bathed in an eerie glow. The heart of Medusa's domain. There she stood, a haunting figure with serpents coiling around her head like living crowns. Her eyes glinted with both sorrow and rage, a reflection of her tragic past. Perseus raised his shield, to avoid her deadly gaze while preparing for battle. "You seek my death," she hissed softly yet powerfully. Perseus hesitated for a moment but pressed on, with swift movements honed by divine training. He raised his sword and struck true below, but not before glimpsing into her eyes through his shield's reflection. In that fleeting moment he saw not a monster but a woman trapped in despair, a victim cursed for eternity. But there was no turning back. He had come too far. With one final blow, Perseus beheaded Medusa. The forest fell silent as her lifeless body crumpled to the ground. From her severed neck sprang Pegasus and Chrysaea, symbols of beauty and strength, born from tragedy, flying into the night sky. As Perseus departed with Medusa's head secured in a sack, a trophy from his conquest, the forest seemed to mourn its lost spirit. The hissing whispers faded into silence. The shadows retreated into darkness. But what remained was not victory, but an emptiness that echoed through the woods, a reminder of what had been lost. The villagers celebrated Perseus's triumph. However, whispers grew about what truly lay within those cursed woods. Days turned into weeks as Perseus struggled with his actions. He had freed the world from Medusa's curse, but at what cost? The image of her sorrowful eyes haunted him every night as he slept under starlit skies. He began visiting the woods again, not as a conqueror, but as a seeker of understanding. Each visit revealed remnants of those who had fallen prey to fear, their stories etched into stone statues scattered throughout the forest. Though Medusa's physical form was gone forever, her legend endured like an eternal flame flickering in darkness. The woods remained a place shrouded in fear and intrigue, a testament to how quickly beauty can become monstrous in society's eyes. Perseus learned valuable lessons from this encounter, that true strength lies not in conquest, but in compassion, that every monster has a story, and that sometimes those we fear are merely victims themselves. The woods of lament continue to whisper tales of beauty turned tragic and heroes burdened by their choices, reminding all who entered that legends are often more complex than they appear. What do you think? Have you ever encountered something supernatural? Share your own tales of terror in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story about Medusa and want more haunting legends like it, don't forget to check out our next video.